The pandemic has put a lot of systems and just many things on pause, including our state's justice system. And when the governor declared a state of emergency back in March of 2020, the state's Supreme Court stopped all jury trials.
It wasn't until May of 2021 that judges reopened their courtrooms. For more than a year, many victims waited for justice. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy found out some are still waiting. In this WKYT Investigates piece, we're asking why.
Or August 11th through the 12th of 2017.
You know those numbers like the back of your hand.
I can't forget them because that's the day that I fought for my life.
Lisa Cambray hates reliving the days when she says her former partner held her captive. But with every pretrial conference and status hearing, she has to.
I fight to survive. I fight every day to not look over my shoulder or let him have power.
She testified for a grand jury in the fall of 2017. The sexual abuse and rape case was supposed to go to trial before the pandemic.
COVID is just a small fraction of the piece of what's going on, because things are getting back to normal, or as normal as they can be, yet my case isn't.
I feel like justice hasn't been done yet.
Another case full of delays, pain, and heartache is Jesse Durham's.
I was beaten and I was shoved off an 80-foot cliff and left for dead. And then my son was taken down the road and beaten to death.
Durham's son James died in September of 2017. She, like Cambray, has waited more than 4 years for a trial.
I've spent years in therapy trying to work through this and heal. But I mean, how am I supposed to do that when I can't get closure?
Prosecutors say COVID is partly to blame. Another factor, at least in Durham's case, prosecutors are seeking the death penalty.
We have to call in so many more jurors to qualify them to be eligible to even get past the first stage, to get to a jury panel. And how in the world are you, if you have to call in 200 jurors with in terms of restrictions and possibly maintaining social distancing, it can be a nightmare, quite frankly.
Just looking at our own numbers, right now we have over 1,600 open cases. And that doesn't count the people that were released from custody and didn't come back to court. And there's over 400 of those people. So we have really about 2,000 open cases right now, which is a fair amount, of cases.
Is that a normal amount of cases?
I'd say it's a little above normal. I mean, I think it's above normal.
Fayette Commonwealth's attorney Luanna Redcorn is working through a backlog created in part by COVID. Courtrooms closed in March of 2020. Prosecutors continued working.
You can do things like guilty pleas, sentencings, arraignments, and hearings on Zoom, but you really can't do jury trials.
The state's Supreme Court allowed judges to reopen their courtrooms at their own discretion in May of 2021. Since then, Redcorn's only had 11 trials, 6 of which were homicide cases. She says there are other reasons for the backlog.
There's just a lot more information in any case than there was 10 years ago. Even the simplest case can have several body-worn cameras that prosecutors and defense attorneys have to review. It just would be, you need to review all of the information. There's more photographs, more videos, more interviews, just more of everything that has to be reviewed until and before a defense attorney, I think, feels comfortable in advising their client whether or not they should plead guilty.
It's not fair to me.
Cambray's abuser pleaded guilty back in the fall. He is set to be sentenced January 14th. Cambray is hopeful it's the last time she has to relive August 11th and 12th, 2017.
Cases like mine are lingering, or they're, putting them off and granting another continuance. But maybe think about it if it was your child or someone you loved or someone you knew.
In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
And we just found out about one more delay in Lisa Cambray's case. Her offender was supposed to be sentenced tomorrow, but her case has once again been pushed back. She says it's because prosecutors told her the evaluator was unable to complete the sex offender evaluation.